I've got a whole bunch of holes to drill in these brass wheels, and a bunch of pins to cut and fit, and tedious process ahead. So this is probably going to be a bit of a montage, or time lapse, or time-age. We will have a finished working fishing reel by the end of this video. And honestly, that's just a goal I'm setting. I'm not completely certain right now if that's the case, but nevertheless, we will have a finished working fishing reel by the end of this video. Many more to go. I've got 40 of these to do on all of these wheels, so see you later. Nearing the end of this project, we're coming to steps where parts come together, and that's when you find out when there's problems, and I've run into one. The old gears that I was going to use, these Lexan polycarbonate gears that meshed at a 45-degree angle, they touch. Well, first of all, they're chamfered at a 45-degree angle and they touch at that angle, which makes them thinner than what these pinwheels are going to be. The corners aren't even going to come in contact with each other. They're going to be off of each other a little bit like that, which means the crankcase needs to be thicker. And I didn't account for it. I just decided to go with pinwheels and I didn't even think of that. So my montage is going to be cut short, and we're going to figure out how to get this crankcase thicker. I have an idea. It involves just getting some 1/16 inch thick, some sort of polycarbonate sheet. I'm thinking even like a dark tinted one, and just follow the outline of the case and get it in, cut it out and put it in there as a shim. It might look kind of cool too, having a darker contrast. I think my hardware store sells those sheets. After you run into something like that, it makes you think, what else did I forget? If I've overlooked too much stuff, I might not be able to get this reel done in this video. We'll get this reel done in this video. At the store, they didn't have the dark tinted polycarbonate sheets. They only had the clear, so I'm going to have to make do with it. This is a little thicker than a 1/16 of an inch, which is good. I need to give myself some wiggle room. I'm just going to cut out some laminates of this, beef up this crankcase. You can see I got the 1/16 inch plate sandwiched in there. That gives me another 1/8 inch of room inside of the crankcase, and that seems to be plenty. There's no way I'm going to show you. I don't know what I'm doing, but yeah, that seems to be plenty. That did the trick. I just got to clean up these edges, make it look nice, and that's what this needed. So back to work on the pinwheels. These are little pieces of solder that I just nipped off of a roll, a wire roll. I'm going to arrange them just over the pins. There's flux between the pin and the wheel, so Hopefully it runs down into between the pin and the reels and it secures the pins really well. I'm going to try to come up from the bottom, have the pins heat first. I don't know, it might have taken. I don't know what to think about that. I can see a little bit right there. So I'm going to let this cool off. I'll sand this solder flush and we'll see how these pins hold. I'll test them. I think that took really well, actually. Put quite a bit of force on some of them and they didn't move at all. It looks kind of cool on the back too. There was a low point right there on the edge. I'm trying to sand past. But yeah, that looks really cool. It's silver where the pins are and brass everywhere else. Trying to keep it even. That was pretty smooth. I think it took. That's kind of fun. Can you hear the excitement in my voice? Some of you guys say I'm monotone. Sorry about that. That's how I talk. It's the next day. I've got one more wheel to go, about a dozen more pins to cut, and we'll be done with the pinwheels. I'm coming up from the bottom. Just trying to keep the heat more centered than anything else and just wait for the solder to melt. I'm gonna go quench this in some water. All three pinwheels are done. We're nearing the point where every part of this fishing reel is made and finished. I just need to start assembling. I think that's what I'm trying to say, is just that there's going to be a assembly going on. I still need to make the mechanism that oscillates the spool up and down. It's going to be attached to this big wheel, and it's just going to be an arm that comes off the center of this wheel and rotates with it and oscillates the main shaft that goes up the center of the reel. I need to mold the rod attachment too and fix that to the fishing reel. So two more things. Once I get those two things done, the rod attachment part and the oscillation mechanism, it's just going to be assembly after that. Fitting and tinkering and trying to get it smooth. A lot of that. So let's see how this mold turned out. Trying to carefully open it so it breaks on the release line. It's being stubborn. Motor oil is not a very good mold release. You heard it here first. It's like I might as well have not even have used any. Well, I'm going to try to cut this mold open, I guess. still try to use it as a 2-part mold. I only need it for one use, so. Whew. I was gonna have to cut this end anyway to get this out. What a beautiful mold. We'll get this to work. That was just a sprue. So it'll just sit like that. I'll have it clamped up or rubber banded up. And to let air out from this side, I'll just open it up a little like that, and then there's the sprue right there for that side. Good enough. So that was Alumilite's just standard casting resin, and then a couple drops of black dye. Kind of difficult when you add the dye because you can't see the striations in the resin as you're stirring. So you can't see if it's mixed thoroughly, but you just, you know, mix it for a long time and it should be. And you can feel it get hot. Hopefully that did the trick. Got to do some serious eyeballing to make sure that's perpendicular. I don't have any small right angle tools that can help me measure. I think that's good. So I'm going to get that real hot, and I'm going to touch the pipe, not the wheel. I don't want to bump the wheel and move it. There we go. It just sweated. So I just quenched that, and that pinwheel soldered on for good now. I just got to hammer this bearing back down to where it's nearly flush. I want to have that as close as possible without touching. Looks good though. It stays nice and flat when it spins. I think up until this fishing reel is actually done, the rest of this video is going to be me skipping all over. There's a lot of stuff where I'm realizing, like, oh, I gotta do this, and oh, I gotta do that before I do this, and it's not making any sense. It's not chronological, or I'm just doing what I need to do to get this fishing reel together. So I apologize if this makes no sense, but that's where I need to drill the hole to start making the oscillation mechanism. So drilled it out, stuck the rod in that this pinwheel is going to be on, but it's going to actually be on a bearing. Spins great. Other side does the same thing on that hole with the big gear that I just soldered. So I'm thinking it's going to run smooth. I'm going to keep chugging away at it. This one's the handle piece, the crank that comes right off the handle. I'll make sure to find the perfect position for this piece so that the pinwheels never bind or catch. I mean, I haven't run into an issue yet, and I've been spinning this quite a while. That's a big relief, actually, to know that that's going to work just fine. Now we need to get the oscillation mechanism built. I feel like this video is going to be a mess. I'm just getting everything done as much as I can. I'm probably mentioning that too much too. So I pounded a 1/16 inch brass rod into that hole that I drilled in the big wheel, and then I put a little brass sleeve over that fit over the 16-inch rod. Then I drilled a hole in a strip of brass. I think it's a 1/32 of an inch thick strip of brass. Slid that over the 16th inch rod and then put another brass sleeve over that. And then I soldered that on there. So that's the first arm that's going to come off of this wheel for the oscillating system. I need another one joint down here, and that's going to attach to the main shaft of this reel. That was brutal, but we got it. We did it. I didn't bring the camera along with me, but it's done. I mean, I shot some stuff. I couldn't finish this reel and take a good video at the same time. That's never happened before, but this thing was being a feisty little bugger. And in order for it to work, I didn't even need an entire pinwheel that I made. I realized that I'm not going to be able to crank this with my right hand, the side that I fish with. It has to be the left in order for the bail to be spinning the correct way. So I didn't even think of that. There was just a lot of things that I ran into that I did not think of. Still don't have the rod attachment attached yet, but I got the handle on, I got the cork knob on, I got the pinwheel with the oscillating mechanism. Jeez, I went through I think I tried 4 different things before I got to the correct oscillating system that works. I went out and bought one of these Dremel torches so I could get some heat right where I needed it, and I could solder some pins in. It works. What more do you need to say? As you can see, it oscillates. It oscillates really fast. It's probably not an appropriate oscillation speed, but it oscillates. No, it is not smooth. It's clanky. It is not to be compared to a Shimano Stella, obviously, but it'll function. Let's get this thing attached, get it all ready to go, and we'll put some line on it. It's the middle of the night right now, so I can't go test it, but let's just see what it looks like with some line on it. I think this is 5-pound test, ice fishing line. Super light. Fluorocarbon, I think it is. It's actually spooling up pretty evenly, even though the oscillation's pretty, really fast. The retrieve is extremely slow. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, I put a brass insert inside of this cork knob so it doesn't just fall apart. I guess I don't need any more line than that. That is how even the line went on. It's a little thinner at the bottom. I don't know. I've bought store-bought reels that do a worse job than that, so I'd say I got lucky. I didn't plan it. I didn't know what you need to be aware of in order for it to do a good job with that, but it just does. I know towards the end I rushed this thing when it comes, or I didn't rush, but the video kind of rushed finishing this up and putting it all together, but I ran into so many roadblocks and so many things I had to get straight before I could go on to the next step, and that messed up another thing, and it's just, and that doesn't make for good video, but it would be interesting. Try to improve on this, get better and better at making fishing reels. Some people are asking if the bail would open if you put pressure on the line. I could snap this line right now and this bail, it wouldn't open. There's no anti-reverse. That's kind of annoying. But hey, I'm learning. I thought we should give this reel a fair shot at catching a fish. So I am braving the cold. Braving the cold. I didn't even want to check what the temperature was this morning. I'm pretty sure it's single digits though, Fahrenheit. And I'm gonna go to a creek that's not frozen. And for the first time on this channel, I'm using actual bait. I don't know, I just wanted to use real bait. What we're using today is 2-year-old stinky Gouda sharp cheese. Honestly, I've never used cheese as a bait before, but I heard it works pretty good. And I had some super nasty I bought from the store. I thought I might like it, like sharp cheese, you know, but my lord, that stuff was potent. Let's go. Since there's no anti-reverse, I use a clip to keep the bail where I want it. I was hoping I could get to the other side of this cement wall. Yep, I can. It'll be fine down here. Got my cheese. Already cut it up into little cubes. Whew. Stinky. Okay. First cast. Went all the way across the freaking creek. Ooh. Something stole my cheese. We might be able to get something. This is looking good. Let's get some more cheese on there. I really did have a bite there. Something took my cheese. I felt it. So now I'm probably going to stay out here way too long and try to catch something and not catch anything. Didn't catch anything. Really wanted to get a fish in this video for this fishing reel. Didn't work out, that's okay. But what did work out was I casted that thing a lot and no troubles at all, which is good. It even handled some extreme conditions pretty well. Got kind of icy, no problem. It's a clunky reel. It's not really a pleasure to fish with, but it works and that's an accomplishment for me. I'm happy with that. You know what I get to say now? On to the next bait.